Yeah, that's the last thing. "17 degrees here." 17. Yeah, I don't know. Should I put it at 18? Yeah, no. There's not much to go on, right? You just don't have a pipeline. See whether that is printed. It's not printed anywhere. Oh, this is actually a prefix while in the render loop. Oh, I think we only have one pipeline. It's never ever going to do anything. Now, wouldn't that be cool if we did have a pipeline? Let's see, this code looks at the number of pipelines. I think I should use that. So just one pipeline. Hi, Spirit. That is nonsense. We do it like this, I guess. Fix me is a hack. Oh, okay, boolean. So this code has no indentation, just because it's part of the hack. Boolean, no pipeline. No pipeline is false. Oh, wait. Have all pipelines is true. And then if not have all pipelines, pipeline not available. And then run over all pipelines, and then if not pipeline PL. A glorified OR with a Boolean short circuit. That should work, right? So now I only test one pipeline. It's much better, since you only have one. Unfortunately, that seems to have not been it. We're also not closing. So it's printing this pipeline not available. It means that have all pipelines is false, which means we got here, which means that pipeline 0 is not available. Yep. So it's a serious thing. We really do not have any pipeline. Okay, well, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna write it to debug output to a file, and then we're going to look at what is the last thing it was doing, and that wasn't printing this. Okay, we do have a timer that fills in textures, but that is unrelated in the sense that we should already have a pipeline before we put any textures, because by default I'm using a blank texture. And then what is this? Running move new pipelines. Okay, that doesn't mean it did have any yet. Or does it? I don't know. Yeah, let's just look at the pipeline factoring. Pipeline factoring. I'm gonna start from the top. Pipeline factory was created here, constructed, initialized to start at pipeline factory start. Let's just highlight all of that and then jump to the next one. So this is, that doesn't work. It's running start anyway. Create a pipeline cache. Set the state to initialize here. And then it is running initialize. And then we create the move new pipelines task. And the state is set to initialized. And then we wait for that we are fully initialized. And we are, because we immediately run initialized state. Yeah. Okay, now it's going to wait until all the characteristics are initialized. And that happens too. All characteristics initialized. You get at the top of the multi-loop, for loop, the while loop. And then we are going to wait until all the characteristics are done with filling. It's being done here. I think we only have one characteristic, so the characteristic is running here. Fill. And there it is done. So now we're going to run pipeline factory, all characteristics filled. Which then calls the prepare shade resource declaration function. And tells apparently the characteristics to do the pre-process stage, which is being run here. I'm not seeing that the pipeline is waiting for that. What is this C doing here? Is it printing in hexadecimal? So normally we set the state and then we wait, and then this state is only run once we get the signal that we're waiting for. In this case we wait for 2 signals, either do compile or do terminate. Terminate never happens here. So we wait for the signal do compile. But this is not the right one. This is thread pool 1. Yeah, in the editor I lose my colors apparently at the moment. Very annoying. I could run it in less. Minus R, then you see the colors, but yeah. Have to look at that one. So it's set the state to filled and then it waits for filled. Okay, and then we get then they are filled, so it's running this. State characteristics preprocessed. Yeah, it tells the characteristics to start preprocessing, and we wait until that is finished. This is not good either. Unknown condition. So weird things are happening here. Yeah, that's where it got stuck. No highlighting of pipeline factory anymore after this. So I would say that the pipeline factory is still waiting on 5. Okay, this is a state machine. The pipeline factory, I might highlight a pointer to it. So this is the pipeline factory, and it is running characteristic field. Calls this function, sets a state that the next state that you want to run on characteristic preprocessed, and then it waits for an unknown condition from which it never recovers. Which is, yeah, well, makes kind of sense, right? I think the unknown condition is definitely the big problem here. It's waiting for something that doesn't even know what it is, and it never gets it. And I also want to look into that C, although that is a different task. Something is wrong with my states. Oh, this is just printing hexadecimal, I think. It's kind of weird because it's debug output. That should reset every line. I really don't understand why we get a C here. This is just printed as a pointer. I'm not even using a standard hex as an IO manipulator here. A buffer. Oh, IO min. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, let's try to reproduce it to see if it reproduces. And this wait is like 4 set state characteristic compiler terminate. That's useful here. This one running state. And then somewhere below it happens. Perhaps. I'm going to run it again. Stop it. And then search for this. I think I have to escape that. There's again a wait C. I want to know if it really reproduces. We have to do it a few times. Yep, wait C. No. One more time. And wait, see, okay, it's kind of producing, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I can just run it in the debugger. Put a breakpoint here after we reach this point here. Running state PS is multi-characteristic fill. Characteristic. Ooh, it's not characteristic range. I think it's... I have so messed up with this. Characteristic and slash characteristic range base class. It's unbelievable. But yeah. Let's debug it anyway. The C is still not really related to mistakes that I make or yeah have made, I think. This seems to be the call. So you're running characteristic fill. And then this is the first wait. I would say that's the one then. Let's skip even this. Debug attach GDB. Oh boy, terminating. Waiting for the fence takes too long. Hopefully we can still debug this thread. Nope. I don't know how to fix that. Just have to remove that timeout, I suppose. Normally this is an error. Hold in here. Define. Oh. Well, maybe I was mistaken. I don't know what this is. Sick 34. How did it not handle signal? Oh. Okay, nobody knows. Handle, maybe just handle. Yeah, I got it. We don't stop, we don't print it, pass it to the program. Yep. And we should have done that from the beginning. Very annoying. Breakpoint 1. Okay, now we are below the debug attention GDB. And I do next. Yeah. Next, I guess. Yeah, it prints a C. Yay. Run from the beginning. Oh wait, that doesn't work. I have to quit it. Yeah, you can't like that. Oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna say no here. Maybe it's faster. Still have to do handles, sick 34, no print, no stop, pause, continue. Next step. Stippy. Print conditions. Print conditions. We're printing 12. Yeah, I don't think it's even possible that we have a standard hex IO stream manipulator here. So maybe inside print conditions. What do we get there? How about break print conditions? Still the same thread or not? Yep. So that's going to construct a conditions thing. And then we're going to print that. This is just constructing it. Oh, we know. Okay, return. Ah, standard hex. Why? Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. That's why. Conditions are... I'm an idiot. Conditions, contrary to the state, are a bit mask. So I decided to print it in hex, so I could see. Yeah. I think it would be better to print it in binary. I'm edit. Okay, that's a problem. It's not really a problem. Let's see. Now it's gone from a mouse buffer. How weird is that? That's why I pasted it before I stopped it. Mohit Ikram. Well, it's multiple things. The first thing was why is it printing this in hex, and it is simply printing it in hex. So that's why. I want to print it in binary now, maybe. Or shall I just put 0x in front of it? I can read hex, so I think 0x is good enough. Please then in the future will not be confused by the fact that it is intentional. Ooh. Ditch debug heavy. Okay, that was one thing then. Now the unused one. No, unknown. Unknown something. I forgot what it was. Let me check something. Now I was also wondered. I see now Mohit Ikram said something, and then now I see mesh is retracted. Now I was told that is because they left the chat. So are you still here or not? That's what I want to know. Okay. Okay, so now print 0x. C. So C is 2 bits set, and that 1 bit, 2 bits. Nothing wrong there. This is much more serious, if you ask me. So this is an hex. In other words, it is 16. So I think the 0x's wasn't needed anyway, otherwise I really would have thought it was 10, which is nonsensical because that wouldn't be a single bit. I guess we have to catch the line where this happens. Get some insight. 0.7. Well, it happens immediately after it does that, and I don't think it does that very often. So you can just look for that, I think. Entering multiplex, entering signal. That's a different task. Run from multiplex. So it does a signal and then it sets a state and then it does a wait. There's another signal here. And that is after calling prepare shader resource declarations, which is done while running this. Okay, well you must be able to find that even from here. So the state is here. Yep, then it calls that. Then it does the signals. And then it waits. So my guess is this is the problem here. And I just didn't add the name for this thing. That's 16, alright. I added preprocess between filled and compiled. It's one of the last things. And I think I just forgot something. You have another file here. Yep, there it is, missing. Pre-processed. This function is just for debugging purposes, so I can print it. So also the unknown wasn't really a problem. It was just me forgetting printing the name of number 16. But it's still the case that it doesn't wake up anymore after waiting for that. Now what the hell? I did compile it? I didn't compile it. How is that possible? How is that possible? What added it? Huh? Oh. I didn't write it to a file. I just ran it. Idiot. So calling that and then now it prints it. It's not no longer unknown. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna remove this again because I was brain fart thing. And in this signal I also have a 0x in front of it. I think it was an oversight that I missed it with the output of the weight. Anyway, then this is the one. Wait for characteristic pre-processed, and then after that we are doing nothing. Let's see. No need to run, remove from thread pool. I realize the descriptor set layout is being called here, but that's about it. Now we looked around. What is this? I think my editor screws up on my Control L clip and it disappears. I'm like, what? I still have the empty line here. Mysterious empty lines out of nowhere. I think it's the terminal. It just doesn't understand all those color codes. And wrapped around a few spaces here or something. A few spaces end up here. Or whatever. Okay, so yeah. Why do we never get a signal do compile? That can't be too hard to figure out, right? Let's search for do compile. Wait for do compile here, and that is 83, 87, 83. You're only waiting for compiles, you never actually compile anything. Now without compiling there is no pipeline. Well, we should have gotten the signal from this line. And that would have happened if we ever... Something is very wrong here. Characteristics compiles. I have a do compile here, but it's for the characteristic range. Oh, right. You're gonna be kidding me, right? Characteristic range. As if everything is range. I think I redefined those things. Or am I an idiot? This is characteristic range, which has a do compile of 4. No, actually, it's the only one. Okay, so that works. So here I have characteristic, and it's derived from characteristic range. It uses the same conditions, signals, whatever. But this is a signal to the characteristic range, and I thought that my pipeline factory was hanging. It's hanging here. We do not get a signal characteristic preprocessed. That's a signal, a thing that we need Was I just looking for the wrong thing here? Nobody knows why I was searching for do compile. That's the one that we don't get, and that signal normally happens there, yeah, which I was just at. So this must be called, and then it must be called as often as the number of characteristic tasks that we have. I'm going to print how often it is being called. Vulkan. Yeah, well, always need to know which task that is. So just print that like that. Let's print it for the other things as well, I guess. So this is range compiled. Sorry, just characteristic range compiled. More things like that. Maybe fetch sub. Here's another one. Okay. I have more than more fetch chips. No. This one, however, sits in the middle. Filled. Looks very much the same. It just decrements my atomic. I guess this is an atomic, right? Yep. It decrements it. Yeah, I don't know why. Using memory access, memory order. I mean. Acquire release, and then here we use what is the thing? I'm just using the same thing. Sequential consistent is the word, yeah. Or maybe I did that on purpose. Slightly different. Okay. So we were missing the preprocessed signal, right? That one. So I want to see if this is being called at all. Not sure what to think of it. It's being called once. Okay. And then I guess this value is set to 2. Or maybe I didn't set it and it was already 0. That's an option. So we have the number of characteristics. It should be set to the number of characteristics every time we want to, or we expect to call these things. Show you how not. My fetch was, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fetches. And so you would say then I have to initialize them 4 times as well. Top. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this just happens here. This was the one that we were waiting for. So this is being set to 2, I guess, and then we run over all characteristics, and we send them the do preprocess signal. Yeah, Poise Bunny and Ace. Yeah, I wonder why you want to fix that. I would just be happy with a bug like that. I'm not sure how many characteristics I have. I think 2. Yeah, we have to. But you know, let's be sure, because if once you are trying to find a bug, nothing is sure. Always set to I think I already have an idea what the problem is. One of those characteristics really doesn't care about preprocessing at all, because it doesn't preprocess. So it's not doing the callback. This is kind of a problem, I guess. I can search for that, I guess. Yeah, we said to do 2. And then it's being called once, so that's why it hangs. And that call that happens from here processed, which is the base class characteristic range, and it's a mess. I'm so unhappy with the name fill. Can't think of a better name though. At the moment. Okay, I'm really not even sure anymore if I need these 3 states and or what I do. So at some point I really have to document that. Write it down. How can I write that down when I'm not sure what? What it is all for. Well, anyway. And then we have this derived class. Characteristic. Which is basically the same thing, but then without ranges. Because it doesn't have any ranges, I would say we don't need to fill anything, right? You might as well do that in the initialize stuff. Like it says here, this is not a range, nothing to fill. Do that in initialize. So we just call range filled, period. Set state, compile, terminate. So this one is the one that is skipping the preprocess. I think this one should also wait for preprocess, signal, it waits for the fill, it waits for do compile, and then it waits for fill again. We really have to wait for the preprocess thing somewhere. Yeah, so if we get compiled, we do this callback, compiled callback, and there we have, if we are preprocessed, which we immediately are when starting this, because there is nothing to preprocess, and I call that preprocessed, which is the same thing as what I did here. Nothing to fill, therefore just immediately call the callback that we are filled. I think this should work. We have to add this state. Process. Add it. Almost forget how many places I have to change this. This is where it is defined, and then I have the place where it is printed. That's here. And then you have, of course, the switch. So not another one. Guess not. Candidate expects 0 arguments. Yeah. Realize the descriptor set layouts pointer must be unequal 0. And it isn't. And the comment says you must call add a vector with descriptor set layout from at least one characteristic. Ah, right. I think my asserts are very helpful, especially the comments. Like I already said this 5 times, but I cannot repeat it enough. You add an assert, add a lot of documentation above it. It saves you a lot of time. The problem here is that I'm calling add here for the color blend attachment states and the dynamic states. And yeah, even this function, which is not an add, but it's doing something, configuring the flat create info for the pipeline. And now we get this, fix me, do this in the add base classes, comment it all out. So this used to be user code, and now it's going to vanish and be done in the engine, basically. And these two, although I'm not using the fragment pipeline characteristic range yet. So yeah, the main problem is this. And particularly, it was telling me about a certain type. Let's go here. So a vector of this descriptor set layout would be missing. Which one is that? This one, I guess. Yeah, descriptor set layout. Yeah, here, realized descriptor set layouts pointer. Yeah. So the comment is wrong. Let's fix the comment. Well, actually, the comment was wrong because now we're going to do it from the base class anyway. Let's fix the comment. Anyways, what should have been done is call the add descriptor set layouts. I think even this is always the same. The sorted descriptor set layouts is in fact non-existent anymore. Nishant, why would I? Why does that make things easier? By all means, point one out that has a NeoVim interface and I'll try it out. And it must work on Linux, of course. But you have to tell me why. This sort of descriptor set layout is non-existent anymore. Why? Highly annoying. Why is everything add? Except this one. Why did I change it away from add? Probably because I had too many adds. I don't know, Nissan. It would not help me with my program. I would have still the same problems. Yes, I'm using console. I don't know what snippets are and extensions. I mean, that sounds like it has benefits, but I was asking you, what benefits are those? So what do those extensions do then? That I cannot do already. There are certain things that I would wish I could do, but those are so complex that I don't think any ID can do it. The only thing that I think an IDE and some IDEs can do that I cannot do is find the places where something is being used. But I'm very annoyed by the fact that it is not C++ aware, in the sense that all my syntax highlighting and the searching for stuff, I mean, I can jump to the definition of this thing and back, but it's just using the string. It's not understanding exactly which type it is. It just jumps there because this thing has the same name, if you understand what I mean. But which type is it, you know, this type? Well, so make the code cleaner. How? Code is what it is. By hiding code or something? So you can collapse this, and you don't see the body anymore. That kind of thing. Yeah, you're totally not convincing me that it would speed up. I think I would be severely being slowed down if I switch to some IDE that I don't know. I've been working like this for decades, and then I would switch to something I don't know. I think things would get a lot slower, and maybe in 2 years' time I would have learned how to use it. So I really must know, you know, that it has exactly this and that advantage, and that will speed up my development so much that I will get back the lost time and that it will need me to learn the interface, which I doubt at all it's possible. If you don't mind, I'm going to continue. Yeah, the descriptor set layouts. This function must be called. I'm using a lot of bash scripts in my environment. That's my IDE. And I'm too old to switch to new tools. So if I would put, I think I have like, so I'm now 58. I can code maybe 5 or 10 years until I'm too senile to code at this level. So I don't have 2 years to switch to another tool set. I don't want to. So I'm just going to continue with what I'm doing, what I have been using all the time. If I was 20, then maybe I would be... well, in fact, I have done it. I have several times looked at IDEs. But at that time, they didn't support Vim. You got some shitty Windows editor light type. I want a Vim keyboard. I don't want to use my mouse. I want to be... Well, I use my mouse, but I want to be able to do everything from the keyboard. That's much faster. And well, using Vim. Shortcuts stuff. A lot of people see this and they say, oh wow, that looks great. What are you using? What editor are you using? But I think the reason it looks great is the syntax highlighting and the font, which is, by the way, in my description, if anyone is interested. The FAQ section. The letter initials. And a hello Nova. Okay, this is a thread safe wrapper around a vector of set layouts. And it seems that that's, no, that is not what it wants. It says here these two calls, so it just turned into one call. I'm also missing the fragment shader here. I need to add code because I turned off the fragment shaders part there, but anyway. It says this fills the m-sorted descriptor set layouts vector. And this looks like an accessor to that, which apparently I removed. But I'm guessing that would be that vector. Oh, it is a vector. It is a vector of set layout. Okay. Yeah, so this thing must be pointing to this. Why do I no longer have an accessor for it? Well, probably because it is thread safe now. Cannot make an accessor that easy. Yeah, well, I'll have to assume that it is being filled, because the problem is merely that it just doesn't know where to find it. And to be honest, this is the pipeline factory. This is the flat create info. I think you have to go look for the add base clause that now fills that vector, and then have that base clause be responsible for setting this pointer. This is the vector. So the question is, who is filling this? You might as well look for the what in terms of filling. Sorry, minus ems. It seems to be done in two places to realize the script set layouts, and the other one is push back the script set layout binding. Because this is an afterthought. Realize the handle. Yeah. I think this is the main function here, which is being called from there, I guess. From generate one, which is called from preprocess one, which belongs to add shader stage, which is a virtual base class which must appear exactly once. So let's say that this is exactly the one that is responsible. Now if we have I have a virtual base class, which is being used by two two base classes of the most derived class. Then we still have a single instance of that, and I guess we still have only one constructor. I can use the characteristic range bridge to get to the pipeline factory, and then from there to the flat create info from the constructor of this thing. I think this is it is the one that is responsible, but problem I have with it that it feels like we need it always anyway. Or am I wrong? No, probably not. Like my basic characteristic doesn't have add shader stage at all. It's up here. Yeah, the base pipeline characteristic is not derived from the shader stage, but even if it was, that would have been virtual. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just do it like that because it feels logical. I don't know. I don't know. So I have an add shader stage class somewhere. And the question is, does the thing have a constructor or not? Not really. At the moment that this is constructed, I think I can make that protected, right? Okay, now I want to do the missing call from here. Haha. And that means that I need to, that call is a member function of my flat create info. And the flat create info is a member variable of the pipeline factory. And the pipeline factory is only known by the characteristic range. So the only access that I have from here is the characteristic range bridge, which I could use. And then actually I can just call get owning factory, and then I have the factory. That's good enough because that's the only thing we have. Yeah, the characteristic range has the owning factory. So I can call owning factory. And then tell it to do something which it could have done anyway. That's a problem. What now is doing, it doesn't even seemingly doesn't have to do anything to do with the assert, or well, with, let's say, okay, well, where was my assert? This one. But the fun thing is that if it does not happen, then apparently I did not link with the add shader stage. So I can now change this. I can then change this assert comment into you must derive at least one characteristic from add shader stage. But add shader stage has a protected constructor, so oh well, it could do that anyway then. Maybe I should make it. This is not a user class. It's called add vertex shader or add fragment shader. Yeah, I'll just add it like that. Or whatever class is derived from add shader stage. Now we did this. My characteristic is derived from add vertex shader, and both actually, add vertex shader and add fragment shader. So then we should be happy, and we should be able to. Lost it again. This one. So by having done that, we will call this constructor. Oops, which then calls some function on my factory, which then does the right thing. Yes? And the right thing is, let's call it just by the name that it had, and I forgot what it was. Descriptor set layouts. What's in the name? I've started to give up a bit on good names because it takes too much time. Usually I think very long about good names. And I don't want to do that during the stream. That's going to bite me some point, I guess. Code becomes more and more unreadable. It's not really add now, it's more register, because I'm not passing anything. I think, yeah, register is a good word. But then are we registering descriptor set layouts? I mean, I'm going to... It's more like this sorted thing, right? Still don't know. I need a good name for this thing. Okay, it's a vector of descriptor set layouts. But is it? It's not even that anymore. It's a vector of descriptor set layout. Oh, it's a descriptor set layouts. Okay. That's if you read it like that. Yeah. Set layout contains descriptor set layout handles, among other things. Okay. No, maybe I should keep it in it. And then here we have something that is sorted. We're always going to add that. I'm just going to use this, I guess. Add descriptor set layout. It's kind of feels like nonsense. Okay. Update. The realized descriptor set layouts pointer. You cannot do that. This thing is protected. Yeah. Now it's stored in a pipeline factory. I don't need a pointer anymore. It's just nonsense. What I need is a pointer back to the pipeline factory, which I don't have. And if I set that, I can just set it in a constructor. Then we don't need all this. And the whole assert disappears because it will never ever not be set. This is nonsense. I think I'm gonna back out of what I just did. Oh boy. Okay. So I was not going to do this. What else did I do? Yeah, then this comment becomes nonsense. But okay, I'll fix that later. The old comment was nonsense as well. Yeah, jeez. Maybe that was everything. Okay, so we want to add to the flat create info. A pointer to the owning pipeline factory. Guess it can be constant. Sure. Owning factory is what I use everywhere. And then I need a constructor, but I don't have that yet. Nope. Well, let's make that public, of course, and then, of course, I mean, could add a badge, but that's indeed control freakish. Hex mind. What a cute, what is it? Emote. Or smiley. It's not a smiley. Yeah. Funny. Remo had one too. It looked like a small dot, but now I look closer, it is a smiley. A very small smiley. Right. Well, I have to pass the pipeline factory to the constructor of the flat create info. Let's just compile it and see where that has to be done. Oh, doesn't know what So expected blah before cons, right? That means that it doesn't know what this is. And then it says that, okay. But it's 3 lines lower. So add a for declaration. Yep, there it is. So flat create info. Let create info is a member called that. Owning window, pipeline out. Owning window. Pipeline out in between. And then we pass this pointer because this is the constructor of the pipeline factory itself. So that should compile again then. Or not. No matching function for call to Vulkan pipeline factory. Oh, is it really? Ah. No comment. Okay, it compiles. So now the flat create info knows about owning factory. And then it can just get that vector or ding, 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 ding. Yeah. I see middle school is out. Or is it the holiday? No, I don't think so. Well, where were we? Okay, so this is no longer going to be called. We don't have this anymore. And therefore the assert can never fail, because you don't even have that. And then all that remains is this. Get realize descriptors set layouts. Now I want to know who's calling this. It's still required. Definitely, yeah. That's being used by the realize pipeline layout. The weird thing, however, is that the flat create info is just going to be passing something back that was stored in a pipeline factory. So if this is the only place where that is being called, I might as well just remove all of this. As well. Yep, what I need there is to pass a pointer to this type. Which happens to be nothing anymore. Means that this can be removed. Control T 7. Yep. So we need that. And well, we need it here. And what I really need is argument 1, a pointer. Nobody knows why I need a pointer. Why would I need a pointer? Print pointer, dereference a pointer, dereference it again, use it as a pointer, dereference it again, yeah, well, blah. Okay, so basically it could be a reference. Let's make it a reference. Yeah, let's make this a reference, and I'm happy to see that it is const. Oh wait, of course it is const. It was not const actually. I'm not convinced. I have to look at everything again. This is of course const. This is const. This is const. That is const. Layout, layout, layout. Set index int. That looks like an accessor, so that should be const. That's const. That begin end. Sorted bindings and flags. Begin. Set layout in bindings will like end unequal bind in. Binding in. Begin. Binding out. Okay, we're changing this so binding in cannot be a const iterator. And therefore this cannot be const. And therefore this cannot be const. And therefore our thing cannot be const. Well, we're just updating bindings, but nah. Even if you tweak a tiny little bit, it's still not const. Right, so I'm gonna pass a reference. I have to fix my code, of course. Let's do first the header, realize pipeline layout. Realize pipeline layout. And I change this into a reference. No longer a pointer. Nee. No dereference needed. And again, not needed. And here it is not a pointer. No dereference needed. And not a pointer. Okay, I guess that was it. Oh, we even got around. Realize pipeline layout. So that was this call here. So now I want a reference. A what is it? Non-const reference. So we're gonna do a what on this thing actually. Let's do it the other way around. I want to create right axis type. And it's going to replace this line, by the way. Right axis type. I could dereference it here and then pass that. That would work, but it's actually ugly. I think whenever I have a an access type, then I should just pass the access type, and then it turns into a pointer again. Oh no, I have to undo all my changes. But yeah, it is how it is, isn't it? So that's what it is. I'm going to pause this. Sort of descriptor set layout type actually. Yeah, I mean, I think it sucks, but let's do this. I think you can pause that as a const reference. And then I add an underscore W here. And I have my underscore T is missing again. Why? No, it's not missing here. Yep. Let's do it like that. I cannot print that really as a pointer, I think. I'm just dereferencing it. But now I have to treat it like a pointer again. Okay. That is the right access type to my sort of descriptor set layout, which also must be realized. Right, I think I still don't know this type in the realized pipeline layout, so that is a difficult type, this type. I'm not sure if I know the pipeline factory here, or even if this is just probably private. All of this is private, yeah. I lost where I was. I. 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 found it back. Okay, what we need is these two types. Oh, this is a .cxx. No. Doesn't help. I have to add it to this header here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can add pipeline factory to the logical device.h. Probably not. Yeah. Also not happy with this, I must say. The point is, the only thing I need here, right here, is a reference. So I don't need much. Maybe you can reconstruct what in a different way. I guess not. It's a difficult type. Let's see what happens if I compile this. Change so many files. Make. Now that's interesting. Redeclaration. Previously declared here. We already have the time. Wow. Same as pipeline factory. Sorted container. That's awesome. Yep. Well, might as well move this one there and then two, I guess. Let's put this below here. Yeah, okay. And now? Now it will compile. Yeah, well, did I get past the previous problem? It was hanging in preprocess when I did not compile. Still don't see any compiles running. Code. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. GG. I think it was waiting for preprocess, right? So this one. Or not. That's another task. This one. It's got signal. No. This was called once before. Now it's called 2 times. So then we get the signal preprocessed on this task or by this task. Let's say to this task. Yeah, it's the pipeline factory. Preprocessed. Set state compiled, wait, characteristic compiled, instant cordon. I think we got one step further. It's now waiting for well, it's waiting for everything to be compiled, but we never even try that. But the cordon is in 6. Okay, and what is 6 doing? Compile or terminate. Normal run. Process. 6 was pre-processing. I guess this 6 is pre-processing this code. And then here it is done. It calls pre-processed. It causes a signal pre-processed to this, to the pipeline factory, which then schedules a run, and 6 continues running with set state continue or terminate, and then it waits for the do compile signal. And then it gets the do compile signal, and then we run the compile or terminate. And then we crash. Okay. Cannot be that difficult, I guess. Good. Did I edit it? Okay, I guess the continuous state was not set correctly or something. Let's run it in debugger. Two. Run state is 0. Yeah. Unlikely. Starts at 7. So it should have been 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Hey, how did I know that? Or 11. Nothing else. Certainly not 0. Up. Direct base classes. Yeah. Just that. So we get there because this is being called with run state equals 0. Just the state string implementation. Still seems nonsensical. One 96. And what is this? Okay, before we had range. It should already never get here, if you ask me. Anyway, the actual values that were possible was even much larger than that. You know, after 11 we get 12, and then all the way up till, I guess, 16. A base pipeline characteristic. It's even a more derived class. Which is in 17 and 18, I guess. Yep. Yeah, new state is 0 is a bit weird, so set state is called with 0. What? Continue state is 0. I guess continuous state was never set then. Let's have a look there. 1, 3, 6. Yep. This again. Yeah, how do we get here? If you ask me, we get here directly from all the way up here. Set state fill. So we run this. Set state preprocess. So we run this. Set state compile or terminate. So we run this. And then continuous state wasn't set. So the continuous state should have been set all the way before this is being run. Well, that would have been the base thing. It's the only one that's derived from characteristic. In that does set continuous state. Before calling characteristic initialized, which cannot be 0. What went wrong there? How I get there? Okay, so this task here that's highlighted gets signal do compile, causing it to schedule a run. Kicking in open door, saying that it needs to run, adding to the thread pool, I mean. And then the thread pool, thread number 7, picks it up, calls normal run on it, and it runs characteristic compile or terminate, and then continued state wasn't set. It should already have been set before this. So we scroll up to the same task, see when that did run last. We get here. Yeah, it is waiting for the do compile thing. And here's the state being set. And that happened while running characteristic preprocess. But it should already have been set before this point. Okay, here we see again that it was added to the thread pool because it had to, as a result of getting a signal do preprocess. Before that, it was waiting for the signal to preprocess. And it had set the state to run that then. And that happened while running characteristic fill. Which it did after getting the signal do fill. So it must have been waiting. Scroll up here. There you see, waiting for do fill. And that set the next state that I want to run then. And that happened while running characteristic initialized with a D. Oh. Yeah, well, that doesn't look good. It's starting with that. It's starting with characteristic initialized. It's of course nonsensical. Yeah, here it's being run. Then we get reset, initial run, normal run, reset, base state reset, base state initialize, and then it starts at the wrong state. Right. This is the state that it should start in, which is equal to the direct base type state end, which in the direct base type is characteristic, obviously, and characteristic has state end defined as characteristic compile plus 1. It should start at state end. by default, which is this initialize implementation, characteristic initialize implementation. Is divine, nobody knows. Down, I guess. Here. Yeah. Bullshit. In fact, I think that characteristic range should do the same thing. Characteristic range class does not have an initialize implementation. Let's add it. So basically I did not eat anything yet, and I got out of bed at 9 o'clock. It's 7 hours ago. I think I should go eat something. Okay, we're back at no pipeline. Compiling. Yeah, it is compiling. Create that, entering set continuous state. Fill again. Wait for do fill. And then nothing. Well, we got one step further again. Now it is supposed to go in a loop, right? And does all the things until if statement, hey, yeah. Yeah, I always feel like doing open brain surgery when I make incredible amount of changes. So many that I have no idea anymore what I already did and how much I still have to do, and what I did all wrong or what is still missing, because you also leave gaps. Let's say I make 90% of all the required changes, and then it compiles, but yeah, the last 10%, right? Yeah, my stomach starts hurting even. I'm going to put something in it, so I'll just stop the stream, I guess, and I'll be back later, okay? And then we'll fix this, the next error. Oh, what a nice rainbow here. It's not entirely rainbow. I think the orange should go here. Oh, you understand. Good. Yeah, now I continuously have this feeling, which is really influenced the way I code. I mean, they say, you know, good code is robust and flexible and maintainable and stuff like that. But for me, it's what is it? A life condition or something like that. I don't know the word. My code must be extremely robust, because I continuously hack into it with an axe and then kick against it until it breaks down, and I put everything, I build it up again, like I stack it up in a new random order, and then maybe I go at it with an axe again. And then when I'm done, I'm like, okay, I didn't mean it. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Can I fix it? And if it wasn't as robust as the code is, then I would never have it. I would never get it to work again. But fortunately, it's pretty robust, so I can get it to work again. And yes, I'll go eat. I'll be back.